Amanda, and as you can see on the screen, I'm currently the Research Liaison Librarian for Nursing and Midwifery, Education, Business and Law, and to a certain degree enabling pathways as well. So if you're in need of any assistance in any of those areas, I can come and meet you. We can do Zoom meetings, and I've just realised you can't see me because I've got a giant window behind me. Yeah, and I can be located at any of the campuses. I travel between New Space, where I am at the moment. I can also go down to Arimba, and I'm also at Callaghan. So please feel free to email me, and I think we've got a slide with our email addresses. If not, we'll show you where to find that. Thanks.
Hi, and I'm Nicole. So I look the same as Jenny, the research liaison. So I look after the schools of environmental life sciences, maths and physical sciences, biomed and pharmacy, health sciences, and anyone in the Global Centre of Environmental Remediation. And like Jenny, I travel between campuses. So I am at Callaghan and the Arimba campus, and can either meet you face-to-face at either of those campuses, or we can organise Zoom sessions. We'll share our contact details at the end of this part and be onto that shortly.
Hi everyone, I'm Sally. So my schools are psychology, creative industries, humanities and social science, architecture and built environment, and Wallatuka. So I'm a bit of a mixed bag across a few different ones. And as Jenny said, I'm also an all-campuser, so I can be anywhere for anyone, but I can always do Zoom as well. So yeah, feel free to give us an email and we'll set up an appointment. I hand over to Jess.
Lucky last. I'm Jessica. So I'd have a couple of engineering schools and a couple of health schools. So engineering, electrical engineering and computing, medicine and public health, and the Department of Rural Health. I'm located at the Callaghan campus, but I can do Zoom appointments. I'm happy to set that up. I'm also able to go to HMRI. I haven't actually visited there yet, but if that's where you're doing your research, I'm more than happy to come and have a chat to you there. So I'm just going to go through some of the services that the research liaison librarians are happy to provide for you. So we can help you with developing search strategies for literature and systematic reviews, including advice on what databases to search and how best to search them, as generally no two are alike. EndNote, so managing references through the bibliographic management software, sort of looking at more advanced features that will assist you with your thesis writing. Publishing, so we can help you with identifying the best outlets to publish your research, so how you can pick the right journal to best promote and share your research. Looking at issues like quality, scope, metrics, and open access when you're publishing. We can help you register for an ORCID, which is a digital identifier, which is now often required for publishing and applying for grants. It helps you keep track of your publications and research, no matter what name format you use on your publications. We can help you with copyright and your thesis, which is really important to think about when you're including other people's work, images or artwork, or your own work, especially if you're going to be doing a thesis by publication. Lots of publishers have copyright restrictions for your own work to be featured elsewhere rather than the journal, so we can help you out with that. And lastly, research data management planning. So good practice in data management is important to maintain reliable and accurate data throughout your research. And the library has access to a data management dashboard, which contains a data management plan and can help you manage your data easily by creating metadata records for your data and publishing them to Research Data Australia. But probably the best place to look at if you're sort of not sure what we cover are the research guides that are on the library homepage. So they cover these topics that I just spoke about and more. They're located under the research support area of the library webpage. And they're a good place to start if you're thinking, you know, what am I going to need help in? So you can have a look at those guides. But as we've mentioned, if you need clarification at any time, just come and talk to us. So we're happy to be contacted via email or phone, and those details are located under the Liaison Librarian section in the Research Support area of the library webpage. So as we've mentioned, each librarian supports a different school. So if you just find your school amongst the list, you'll find the right librarian to help you. So again, as mentioned, we're happy to meet in person or set up consults in Zoom. The important thing is just to contact us and we're happy to help. And that's pretty much it. Is there any questions? No? All good. Well, thanks for letting us talk today and introduce ourselves, and hopefully we'll hear from a lot of people soon.
No worries at all. Thank you so much, Jess, and to the rest of you. And look, if you do have any questions, for those of you participating later in the session, we can either respond to those at the time or we can pass them on. Fantastic. Rightio, in that case, I'll hand over to Kim Langford to talk to you a little bit about the chaplaincy. I'll put that slide up for you, Kim.
It's okay.
Rightio, and you should be able to control that using the arrows at the bottom there.
Can everyone hear me? I'm not sure if everyone can see me.
Yep, we can see, I can certainly see and hear you. Hopefully.
Oh, great. Okay. So hello, everyone. I'm Kim Langford, one of the chaplains in our chaplaincy team, which is part of the university Student Central team, and here across a number of different services that we provide. Just firstly wanted to mention where we are. You may be able to see some nice windows behind me. You might be able to see the Beehive Cafe. So we're right opposite that. Really easy place to find us, not far from the Maths bus stop and on that lovely clear route from the bus stop through to Shortland Building. So we are here on Callaghan with quite a few chaplains based here. We also have a couple of chaplains who roam around New Space. We don't have a dedicated space there, but it's really good that the chaplains can just wander around and be available if you need them. And if you can't find a chaplain at New Space, Student Central staff are very happy to put you in contact with one of them. And we also have a chaplain down at Ourimbah campus. So we're well covered across our different campuses. And our chaplaincy here is an intentional multi-faith chaplaincy team. We don't just hang here together, we actually work together as a team, and we have about 14 chaplains at the moment across different faith traditions. We have 2 Muslim chaplains, Farouk and Muhammad. We have a Sikh chaplain, Amarjeet. We have a Baha'i chaplain, Shane, and we have also a number of Christian chaplains across different denominations. So we have Catholic chaplains, Greg and Marianne and Camillus. I'm trying to remember everyone's names off the top of my head here. And we also have Andrew, who's our Anglican chaplain here at Callaghan, and Roy, who's our Anglican chaplain down at Ourimbah. We have Nick, who's our Baptist chaplain. We have Paul and Hannah, who are our Adventist chaplains, and I'm the Uniting Church chaplain, and we have Bev, who is our Presbyterian chaplain. I think I've remembered everyone, but if not, we certainly have a great list of chaplains on our chaplaincy webpage, and you can find people through specific phone numbers and email addresses. So you might be wondering, why do we need so many chaplains? What do chaplains do? Are they for people who are just religious? And the good thing is that our chaplains are all trained and equipped to respond to a whole range of different student and staff needs. We provide some specific spiritual help if you're wanting some spiritual guidance. We also provide a space where we can give you some quiet and rest and listen to you while you share any concerns you have about study, about your personal life, about your work life, any of those things that become concerns for you. We also provide pastoral counselling, which is a more intentional way of spending time with you, listening and providing some support for you in that way. We also have a number of us who are justices of the peace, and many of you will meet us that way initially, where we can certify documents, witness stat decks, and do some other JP type things. We can also help you find a university service that you might not be sure of. So if you come in and say, look, I've got this concern, I'm not sure where to go, whether it's a physical place or a service that you need to access, we can help you to find that as well. So we are a wide-ranging group of people. We work together, but we also work in our own faith tradition so that we can provide support to students or staff of that faith tradition. And we're here just to drop by for a quick chat, or we're here for a longer chat if you need our help in any way. So where we are is the V building, which used to be called the Mats building, ground floor. There's ramp access around the side of the building. We have bathrooms and amenities just below us. And as I mentioned, we do have the coffee shop just over the way. So if you see us from the coffee shop, feel free to come over and say hello, and it might be a way that you can access some of those services we provide. So thanks for your time, and feel free to fling us any questions, but otherwise just contact us by email or dropping in, and we'll look forward to meeting you. Thanks, Hugh.
Fantastic, thank you so much, Kim. Were there any final questions for Kim at this point? Rightio, we'll move on then. I think I've got a particular order in front of me, but I think we're still just waiting on Kelly from ALS. So, Kat, did you want to talk a little bit now? Are you ready to go?
Yep, can you hear me okay?
Yes, fantastic. So I'll pass over to Kat, who's going to talk to us about counselling and psychology services. Now, Kat, just quickly as well, the share button in the bottom right corner allows you to share your screen if you wanted to walk us through anything.
Okay. All right. I haven't participated in this space before, so it's new and exciting. So hello, everyone. So hopefully, I'm not sure what you guys can see, but I did have some slides to follow. But I can't see those from here.
Oh, that's right. I can assist if you like. It's it's okay. We're all learning about this space this morning. It's a great experience.
It's a big learning curve, isn't it? Thanks, COVID.
Yeah.
New skills.
Can you see the purple button in the corner that opens up the side panel?
Yeah.
And there's a share button there, and then you'll see share application /screen. Or share files if you have slides, whatever you prefer. So I've got careers there. Have you got something to share as well, Kat?
Yeah, so I sent them through, but I'm just trying to work out how to do it. Have you got the ones I sent through?
Give me 2 seconds. Thank you for bearing with us, everyone. Thankfully, we're slightly ahead of time.
I just start talking. I'll start talking.
That's all right. I'll put those up while you're talking.
Yeah. So, as Hugh said, I'm just here to let you know about the University Counselling and Psychological Services, so CAPS for short. Welcome to your postgraduate journey. And I guess a big part of that is going to be taking care of yourself. So CAPS is around to help you take care of your well-being and your mental health. So what kind of support is available? basically we have a bit of a system that's a bit like a triage system. So we have as your first point of contact wellbeing advisors. So that's usually an initial appointment, usually for about 30 minutes, where the wellbeing advisor will have a chat to you and find out what's going on, check in with your wellbeing at that point, see what they can do to help, and then talk with you about what your options are for ongoing support, if that's going to be helpful. So they can refer to then the counsellors, or they may look at referring you to other services, both internal and external to the university. So our wellbeing advisors are a bit of a multidisciplinary team, but they all have relevant qualifications in things like psychology, nursing, OT, social work, those kinds of areas. So very experienced and qualified to kind of help you at that initial inquiry. Then if it kind of meets your needs, the wellbeing advisors can then refer you to one of the counsellors. So we do offer face-to-face appointments, but we can also offer online appointments. So we know a lot of students are studying off campus, or sometimes, you know, with COVID restrictions, if things change. So we've been utilising Zoom, or we also use phone. We also, as a service, offer online drop-in sessions. So those operate during the semester period, and you don't need an appointment for those. And at the moment, they're operating via Skype, but I think that might change in the future. But you can just drop in, and there'll be a counsellor sitting online, and you can chat in real time without needing to have an appointment. So they operate at set times on set days, and I'll show you in a sec how to find out when they operate. But that's just a neat little way to kind of connect with someone on a needs basis for an initial kind of chat online, and then again you can kind of see what your needs are and where to go from there. You'll find that CAPS also offer online workshops and webinars, things like that, so we provide sort of proactive support in that way. So I'll also show you how to sort of find out about what's going on. I think like postgraduate research runs several through us as well. It's things like managing perfectionism, managing procrastination, you know, a general kind of engage, survive, thrive, a kind of well-being, and how do I manage myself and my studies. Those are some of the ones I can think of off the top of my head. I think we're looking at offering a managing kind of loneliness, or how do I make kind of friendships, especially in this time with COVID happening. Yeah, so we offer all sorts of things that are really interesting, and we make them as interactive as possible online. And we also have a number of both wellbeing and study tip sheets online, so I'll show you kind of how to access those in a minute. So I mentioned before about possible referrals. So in addition to referring you to one of the counsellors, a wellbeing advisor may connect you with our accessibility support. So that's when students are managing any kind of health condition that might impact their studies. You can talk to accessibility about what supports are available, including reasonable adjustment plans, and they tend to do some advocacy as well, so they can help talk to supervisors or course coordinators. The university does have a loans and welfare service, so there is some limited financial assistance for students, which can be important. So they might refer you to access that. There is an equity and diversity coordinator, so she's all about making sure students feel supported and feel that things are equitable, so she's good to have a chat to if there's any concerns kind of in that area. They might also refer you to campus care. So campus care is a service that's designed to be available for students whenever students have a concern about someone's behaviour in terms of safety, particularly. and well-being. So if you're worried about someone, if they're behaving really out of character, or you just feel like things aren't going well, or you think there's some kind of risk involved in what they're doing, campus care are really excellent to kind of sit with you and listen and help you determine what the most appropriate response is and help you kind of manage that. Wellbeing advisors might refer you to student progress advisors if there's academic kind of questions that go along with, your wellbeing, as well as higher research degrees to answer any queries. They might also help you connect with the GP in terms of the university health service. So that's a really important service to know about on campus. There's a nurse and GPs that you can consult around your health, and we sometimes will work together around helping students manage their wellbeing. And we may also look at referring you to external services. So sometimes an external GP is preferred or more appropriate. And there are obviously some mental health and other specialist support services that we determine might really meet your needs and really be able to help out. So we can, with your permission, kind of refer you to those and help you navigate those. So how do you access us? So that website, which I can try to work out how to put in the chat box, is perhaps the easiest way. When I'm finished, I'll put that in the chat box, and you can just click on that and you'll see what I mean. It'll have like links that you can click on to find out how to make an appointment, or more about that online drop-in service, like when does that operate. There we go. Thanks, Hugh. What workshops? Thanks. What workshops are coming up? They might not all be advertised right now, so have a look what's on there at the moment. There's probably more some recordings there at the moment, but in the very near future, Kayleen, one of our wellbeing advisors and counsellors, will upload workshops as they're scheduled, so they'll be coming up, and those tip sheets that I mentioned. So you can just give us a call on that number, and you'll talk to the friendly girls on reception and they can help organise an appointment, or you can email them. So one thing to remember too is the service is absolutely confidential. So coming along to see a wellbeing advisor or a counsellor, anything that you talk about in those sessions is completely confidential. The only exceptions to that would be if there were concerns around safety or wellbeing, and they would talk with you about, what we would do about that. But it's, totally confidential. The other thing I've included on there is the after hours crisis support. So it's really great. It is through the university, but it's an external contractor, but there's 24/7 support. So if we're not here, if it's outside of usual business hours, kind of 9 to 5, that crisis support number operates between 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. overnight each day, and all on the weekends and any public holidays and things like that. So if you just feel like you would like to talk to someone, you can contact that number. And that's pretty much it from me.
Fantastic. Thanks, Kat. Are there any questions for Kat?
Awesome. Suss out the website, and if you want to know any more, or get in contact. Thanks.
Terrific. No worries. Thanks for joining us. So, I'm looking at my order again. I think we're going to go slightly off book. I know you're both in here at the moment, Tonya and Andy. Would either one of you like to go next?
I don't mind. I'm happy to go.
Fantastic, radio. So I'll hand over to Andy Silcock to talk to you about IT and tech services.
Cool. Thank you. I'll stop eating my watermelon then. All right, I'll share my screen. So share application, and hopefully in a second you'll be able to see my PowerPoint presentation. I'll tell you what, I'll just share my whole screen. That might be a bit easier. All right, can everybody see that? Yep, lovely stuff. All right, thank you. I'll start the slideshow. All right, so thanks for taking your time out today. My name is Andy Silcock, and I'm from the IT Business Engagement team, which is a fairly new team. And we try and be out and about in the business and with the students. So rather than just being behind a telephone number, we'll try and sit out with the business. And today I'm going to show you through what services are available to yourselves as postgrad students. And feel free to ask any questions along the way as well. Don't mind being interrupted if needs be. Has anyone got any questions from the get-go, or shall I just crack on with the PowerPoint presentation? Okay, no worries. I'll carry on. So, a few services that we've got. Probably aware of these already, given you've probably studied here already. But we've got Wi-Fi, believe it or not, across all the campuses. Wherever you go, you can connect to our Wi-Fi. We've got campuses all over the shop, down at Arimba too, and New Space, and there's a new one called near sort of Honeysuckle that's going to go up in the not too distant future as well. So all of them you can log on to and carry on with your work. Plenty of computers around as well. So if you don't have your own laptop, you can just take yourself down to one of those spaces, maybe our community library, somewhere on New Space, and log onto those machines and work away. Got printing services as well. So if you do need to print anything off, if you're not a paperless kind of person these days, then we've got plenty of printers knocking about as well. And we've also got the IT service desk, which is my next slide. So, IT service desk, you may call whilst you're studying here to get a lot of help. There's plenty of men and ladies on that service desk who are happy to take your calls and help with any IT issues you have. One of the things you should be aware, though, is we don't support personal devices. So if you've got an issue with your own Mac or Windows computer, we can't really offer any advice on that, unfortunately. The number is there, so 17000 if you are there internally on sort of like one of the phones in one of the rooms. Otherwise, it's the full number there. Open 8 till 6, Monday to Friday. And you can also log tickets through Service U1. So Service U1 is our portal for all things IT. And through there, and I'll go into that a bit later, through there you can look at knowledge base articles to help you with IT issues, but also log tickets to get someone to contact you with any issues and things. So we can help with software and hardware issues. And the hardware issues is if sometimes the computers that you're using will be out of warranty, and we'll be able to check that. If it is a hardware issue on a computer that's out of warranty for a research student, then we'll have to, the costs will have to be provided by the school or your research project or something like that to actually fix that particular thing. And the kind of software issues we're talking about are things like installing SPSS and those kind of things. So, moving on, we've got the My U1 student app as well. Hopefully you're across this already if you've already been a student here, but if not, it's had an update and it's looking pretty snazzy these days, and it can help you with various different things. There are particular sections for research students as well, but you can either get to it via the app for your phone, or you can go to the My U1 website and get the same kind of functionality and features, and I'll show you a few things on the website on the next slide. So it gives you access to all the key systems and information you need to navigate through your studies. And it can be downloaded just from the Play Store or the Apple Store, depending on the type of phone that you have. There isn't an app as such for like your desktop computer, so it's just a website if you're using a computer. It's got things like class calendar, although not too relevant for HDRs, study resources, campus maps and transport information if you get lost, help and support, and software and tools to support your learning. So it's only a year old and it's always in development, and it's always sort of being updated and refreshed. And you can actually provide feedback within the application itself if there's functionality missing that you think would be a really good idea. You can get to things like Career Hub and Blackboard as well, which we're on now. So plenty of useful information on there. And if you're having any issues, you can call the service desk about that one as well. And my next slide is what it looks like on the website. So there's lots of different things, and I'm going to fire some arrows to you now to show you a few different things that you can do. So you can customize it. So the buttons you can remove or add or move around to get rid of the ones that you're not interested, or put the ones in that you are interested, which helps. You can get to your emails, which is handy, and Blackboard, My Hub to enroll and look at your fees and things, timetable, which might not be too useful for you guys. You've got access to the library systems and information, so you can check out books or look up books. So the other application is Blackboard. Not too sure how much you guys will be using that one, and you'll be familiar with it already if you have studied here. It's also known as U Online, as you can see in the top left there. So if anyone ever mentions U Online, they're referring to Blackboard as well. So this is where you can go to get your next course material, or contact your course mates and things like that. So there's My Hub as well. So with this one, you can get to various different tasks, enroll on courses, look at your finances, edit or review your personal information like your address or your phone number, things like that. And then you've got My Timetable. I won't go into that one into too much detail because I don't think you guys are going to be using that one too much. So there's also Ask You On, which is like the student central services side of things, where you can get information about non-IT related things. So that's a useful one to know about if you go to the uni website. And from there you can search in the top, or you can click and get to Ask You On, and that's to help you with study-based information rather than sort of IT-based information. The next one is Service You On, which I mentioned earlier. So this is kind of like the hub of all IT things. And from here, you can search for help. So you can search for knowledge-based articles, which will sort of self-serve and help yourselves. Or you can actually request for an IT service. So if you need, I don't know, a new email address or something along those lines, you can request for that. Or you need some help with your laptop. Or you can report an issue. So if something's actually broken, so if your computer's exploded or something like that, then you can have a look at and log in a ticket through there rather than giving us a call. The other thing to mention, something that's coming in the next couple of weeks, is the tech bar. So we're opening up like a walking center, kind of like the Apple Store, that kind of vibe, in the Ock Community Library, level 2. So that is coming over the next couple of weeks, and I'll be on it as well as my colleagues, and we're there to basically do most of the things that the service desk can do, and possibly some more as well. So feel free to come and check us out there and spread the word. So some of you will have been provided with a HDR laptop. Some of you might be provided with one soon. Comes with Windows 10, and you've got access to the UON Software Center. And what that is it's basically an application on your computer that allows you to have a look at which applications you, based on which school faculty you're studying, can install on that computer for free. There's a big list of all sorts of different applications, and it will depend on kind of the student you are and where you're studying as to what you can install, and it shows you based on your logon. With that HDR laptop, obviously it's supported by IT services, so if anything does go wrong with it, we can help you, as opposed to a personal device. And there are automatic security updates when you're on campus. So when you connect to our Wi-Fi, it will update an application called Sophos, so you're nice and secure. The kind of software that you get by default on your laptop are the following. So you get Microsoft 365, Office 365. So what that is a collection of like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, but you also get things like OneDrive, Microsoft Teams, and OneNote. So OneDrive is like a personal storage space in the cloud that you get, and that gives you about a terabyte of data. And Microsoft Teams, which is this purple one here, is something you might find useful for communicating and storing your files when you're working with other people, even if it's just your sort of research manager person. So you might want to have a word with whoever you're dealing with during your studies here, and see if you want to form a Microsoft Teams team, and you can share your files and work on files together using that application, which is pretty handy. And then you get EndNote as well, which is the referencing software. And there's a few people in the library who are kind of the experts in EndNote. We can help you with installing it, but in terms of its usage, the library tends to be the ones that help with that one. And Sophos as well, which is the antivirus software. And then you've got the stat software like SAS, JMP, and SPSS, which are things that you can install via the software center. And if you're having any issues, you can go and contact the service desk for help with that. That's pretty much saying the same thing. So I'll just quickly go through some of the applications that are available to you that you might not realize. Microsoft OneNote is like a note-taking application, and you can create lots of different notebooks with different sections and different pages. And it's basically a place where you can insert useful websites or notes, or you can write on it as well. So if you've got a touch screen or an iPad, you can actually write and draw across it, and you can paste in images. It can be like an interactive notebook, basically, for all your note taking. And the brilliant thing about that is, as long as you've got an internet connection, you can access your notes from any computer in the world, because it's all stored in OneNote in the cloud. And you go to office365.com to get to all of that, all of those applications like Teams and OneNote as well. Microsoft Teams, mentioned earlier, but it's really good space for collaborating and working. If you're familiar with any applications called Asana or Trello, similar kind of idea to those if you've used those before. Microsoft Forms is another one that's available to you. So with this one, you can create a survey like SurveyMonkey and receive information and results, which can be quite handy if you're collecting information for your research studies. OneDrive is that terabyte of storage space that I mentioned earlier. Terabytes, a massive amount of space, and it's all for free. And it's all backed up as well. Again, as long as you've got an internet connection, you can access that stuff from anywhere. So rather than saving things to your desktop on your computer, which isn't necessarily backed up, I'd recommend going via OneDrive instead. Zoom is the video conferencing software that you can use as well. So you can join and create meetings and and sort of collaborate with whoever you need to collaborate with. You're probably all familiar with that one already. EndNote is that referencing software that I mentioned earlier. There's a screenshot of it there on the right. Good for referencing. Not many people who are experts on it in IT, but yeah, have a word with the library if you need some help with that one. And yeah, as I mentioned earlier, we've got the tech bar. So with the tech bar, it is just a trial to see how well it goes, and we might be opening up more elsewhere. But we've got like a booking system where you can sort of book in a particular appointment, and that's done via Service Yuan, which is the kind of front end of IT that I mentioned earlier. We've got, yeah, there's all sorts of different things that we can help you with. But yeah, come and check us out when it's open in the next couple of weeks. Surfforce is the antivirus software. Nothing too exciting with that one. Pretty standard, but helping you protect your files. And that is it for me. Has anyone got any questions about any of that? I didn't check the chat. I'll have a look in there. No, nothing in there. Yeah, anyone got any questions about the IT side of things? Not too sure. No, don't know when the laptops will arrive. Unfortunately, it really does depend on a few different things, particularly when they were ordered. But if you've got a ticket already for that ordering, then it's probably worth ringing up the IT service desk. If you don't, then have a word with your research sort of manager, organizer, and they might be able to chase up the ticket number and see when those laptops are arriving. Simone.
I had a quick question about the tech bar you mentioned, and I apologise if you did answer this at the time, but what are the opening hours for that service?
That is a good question. Let me see if there's anything in my slide. Not too sure. I'd imagine 9 till 5, but I'll double check that one. See if anyone else can find out in my team. I've got Christy on. Yeah, she's in the call. She's asking now. So yeah, around those kind of hours, and it won't be open on the weekends. But yeah, we're launching that on the 22nd of Feb on the second floor of the Oak Beauty Library. When I find out, I'll put something in the chat if you like.
Fantastic! It sounds like an amazing service. Yeah,
hopefully it'll be good. It's something that we've been wanting to do for a while now. And if it is successful, we'll thinking about opening up one in the D building, which is where all of IT is based, which is the old design building next to the museum and the gallery, across the road from IFS, if you're familiar with the campus.
Fantastic. Rightio. Well, thank you for that, Andy. And again, yes, if you do have any questions, people just drop them in here and we'll get to them as soon as we can.
Cool.
On that note, I'll hand over to Kelly Kaiser. I think you're in the room now, Kelly, from Academic Learning Support to talk to you. Oh, sorry, Kelly, you've got buttons down the bottom in the center to activate and deactivate your webcam and your microphone. I'm so glad we're all learning how to use this space because it's very, very handy.
Okay, let me say that again. I'm just going to try and share my screen. Hopefully it will work. Well, what is that?
Ooh, that is a very cool visual effect that's called a mise en abîme.
Not what I'm after. Hang on just a second. So,
right.
Want that one? Okay.
You can open a separate window if you like and then share like a different space, if that helps.
Okay. Can we see the university website now?
Beautiful.
Yeah? Perfect. Okay. All right. So my name's Kelly. You can still see me down in the bottom corner somewhere, I presume. I can't see myself, so hello. I'm Kelly. I work for Academic Learning Support, and I'm the HDR Support Learning Support Officer. So I just wanted to first help show you how to get to our website so that you can learn about what we offer. So one way to get there from the home page is to go to Students, and from Students, when it decides to get there, maybe, okay, all right. So from the Students page, you can just scroll down and there's support there, and we are academic support. So that'll take you directly to our home page. Another way of getting there is obviously just typing in the search bar academic support or learning support or something like that, and it will take you to the same place. So just walking you through, we do offer support to undergraduate students and postgraduate students, but just to point out the features that may be relevant for you that you'd like to look at, over on the left we've got workshops, consultations, and we've got online sources of information. So basically, I guess eConsult is available to all students, so that is where you can book an appointment and attach your work to have someone have a look at it asynchronistically, so at a different time, and give you feedback. That's generally only useful for short pieces of writing, so that's something that you could book in for, but I would probably recommend going to individual appointments. And it will take you to Career Hub to book in, and you can choose to book in for a research student appointment. So from individual appointments, book an appointment through Career Hub, you sign in and you select the research student option there. And that will book in directly with me. So once you've booked an individual appointment, you can either elect to have a Zoom appointment where we can discuss what you're working on, and that could be anything from, you know, you've just started and you're trying to organize yourself, you're trying to understand the timelines and processes, and not sure how to organize your research. So that could be something that we discuss, or it could be that you've written, usually what people look in for is that they've got some work already written and they want some feedback on their, I guess, the organization of ideas, the structure, and the expression. So I guess there's kind of a blurred line. I'm not a supervisor and I'm not a proofreader, but there is a lot of discussion of content in a generic sense. So I'm not a specialist in your research area, but I would be able to provide feedback as to whether the structure presents your information in a logical way that flows and that is readable. And I can certainly look at the way that you've expressed ideas to see whether they are expressed in academic, to an academic standard, whether it's meeting the genre and the style of writing in your particular discipline area. So I would say that for individual appointments, that's probably what most people would book in for when it comes to the writing stage and getting feedback on the writing, because often you kind of get to the point where you're too close to your research and you can't quite see what other people might see anymore. So you can book appointments every fortnight. So you can have appointments for as long as you need to, as often as you need to. You're able to book every fortnight. If there's something coming up, if you've got your confirmation coming up and you want more intensive support for a short period of time, then I can book you in more frequently than every fortnight. So you can just email me. You can email learning support down the bottom and they can forward the email directly to me. So that is booking an appointment online. So you've got the option of Zoom for a discussion, or as I said, you can book in and elect to email me your work and I can write some feedback and send it back to you. Then there's workshops. For the HDR workshops, because people start their candidature at different times, there's basically workshops running in I run 8 workshops over 2 weeks, and that happens 3 times a year. The first, and they're during sort of teaching breaks, so to speak, or I try to match them up to teaching breaks in case you are teaching. So the first one will be in April, the next round will be around July, and the third round will be around September, October. So once they're advertised, I'm still finalising dates, they'll be advertised here in View All Workshops. So there'll be a list of the workshops and you'll be able to book in through Career Hub. So at the moment, the HDR workshops are not available to book in for yet, and the dates haven't quite been finalised, but it will be sort of the beginning of April. I think it's just after the Easter break. And you'll be able to book in here. So that's your individual appointments and your workshops. There are also ongoing English language workshops, so starting in May, so after that April round of generic workshops, there'll be language workshops that run for a month or 2 months, so that's an option to book in for. I'll just go back a step. So you've got the workshops and the individual appointments. And the last thing I just want to point out to you is the option of online resources. So if you click over on a link on the left, we've got online resources, and so go down to the bottom to learning resources. What you're looking for is graduate resources, so clicking on the link, there's different things. These are for undergraduate students as well, so study skills, writing skills, English language skills, and then graduate resources is what you're looking for. So there's some recorded older material here that could be of interest to you. The final place I would suggest to have a look, so this is everything that's available on our website, so there's some static resources, there's some ways to book in to get one-on-one support or to attend workshops, and the final place I would suggest to go is Blackboard. In your other sites, there is an academic learning support unit that everyone has available to them, so from Blackboard, go to my other sites in academic learning support. And you'll find down the side again, there's a research student tab, and there's a lot of information here. So if you go over to the 2019 HDR topics, there are slides available from the different workshops that are run in April. So you might like to have a look at them now. There's also information on, just trying to think. Actually, if you go over to, if you've got English as a second language, you can go across to the academic English language tab on the left and have a look at some of the grammar resources. So there's some more advanced grammar explanations here. For example, logic. So writing in a logical way. So there's quite a lot of information here. So feel free to explore Blackboard. Feel free to book in for a workshop in April when they come up. So they'll be advertised soon. So keep an eye on this. Keep an eye on the newsletters that Graduate Research sends out and that Hugh will be advertising. And finally, you can book in any time to speak to me one-on-one through the let's just go back, through book an appointment on Career Hub, so for an individual appointment. So I'll just leave it there. You can explore the website, and if anyone's got any questions, please jump in and ask, and I'll see if I can find my way back to collaborate. Okay, thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Kelly. Are there any final questions there for Kelly?
No.
Beautiful. It means you explained it very well.
I guess it's a starting point. You know, you don't know what you need and when you need it, so at least you know where to go to start when you've got questions or concerns, and take it from there.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
No worries at all. Thank you very much. Now I can see we've got Meg, Christy and Tonya with us as well to present. I will just, because of time, I will just check with the three of you quickly. Do any of the three of you have time constraints that you prefer to go next? I just want to make sure I give all of you ample time.
I don't know if you can hear me because I've never used Collaborate before, but I'm fine
Sorry?
to go whenever. Oh, you can hear me? Great.
Yes,
Great.
I can. Fantastic.
Okay. I'm ready to go, or I can
Radio. That
yeah.
sounds fantastic then. In that case, I'll hand over to you, Tonya, to talk about the career service.
Great. Okay, thank you very much. So my name's Tonya Weaver. I'm an employability consultant in the career service. So I'm going to run through some of the resources that we have to help you on your journey. I am going to now do my sharing. I've been practicing. Now, is that sharing, Hugh?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Right.
Okay, let me try again.
That's okay.
It did in my practice run before.
I did see it earlier, yes, I had it.
I know, I popped in, I thought it was like Zoom when I, you know. All right.
It sometimes helps if you have it open in a separate window, I found.
Yeah. I've done that. Excuse me while I do that. Okay. Okay,
Beautiful.
How's that looking now? So I'm on the current students page of the university website. Is that what everyone you're seeing?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great, thank you. All right, so I just thought I'd show you through some of the screens so that you can find us virtually. So this is just the screen that you might be familiar with already. There's a couple of ways to get to careers. Up in this top right-hand corner, there's a little careers button, or you can scroll down. See some of these, and here we've got our careers our website link here. So I've already this is coming into our careers website, our page here. So I guess the big news for us is that we've actually moved from the Callaghan career service. We used to be on the Hunter side. We're now over in the Shortland side in the Shortland Union building on level 3. So we're just above the subway where the student hubs or student services used to have an office. So that's where we are. But all the information about where you find us and how you can locate us or via phone or ask a question or in person is all on this website. So one of the things, some of the resources and the services that we offer is, first of all, is career counselling. So for HDR candidates, when you've got this big journey ahead, is sometimes you want to have a touch base and have a one-on-one conversation with a career counsellor about your direction of where you're going. Whether that is down the academic pathway or industry pathway or a meld of both. So you can have a look on here, you can have a look on time slots to book a session, to have those one-on-one career conversations. Also, you'll see here is that we've got job application assistance. So you may want to be doing another job, a casual job, whether it's a research assistant, it's jobs on campus opportunities, or other roles along the way whilst you're studying. And so we've got that link there that takes you to a number of resources about job application assistance, whether it's best practice resume writing, helping you with academic CV writing, which is quite different, cover letters, selection criteria, all those sorts of things. Interview preparation, we also offer mock interview sessions where you can do a mock interview with an individual, myself or one of the team, either virtually or face-to-face. Your LinkedIn profile as well, when you wanting to work on that and get that up and running. So all of those resources and assistance is here for you. Now, a big part of where we have a lot of our resources is in this link to the Career Hub. So we'll often talk about the Career Hub, and people actually think our service is called the Career Hub. That's fine. That we're the career service, and this is the main tool that we use. So here on the front page of this is we've got things like where you can search jobs, like I mentioned. Also, it's on here we've got some upcoming events. So we run workshops online for best practice resume writing, job applications. There's a whole list of different jobs as well that's listed. We usually have about 200 to 300 jobs that are on the Career Hub website on this database, and at the moment we've got about there's probably about 5 different jobs on campus roles for about 30 positions, and that's always being updated, so we always encourage you to keep having a look there. We've also got a whole bunch of different events, so we've got a couple of expos coming up, and then in here with the appointments, these are the different types of appointments you can have. As I mentioned, career counselling, interview prep, LinkedIn, and when you click on these, it comes up with a calendar that shows you the availability, and then you can let us know what you prefer. We do have not only an office at Callaghan, we're in at New Space as well in the city campus, and also at Arimba. And obviously we're virtual, so we're international like everyone. We've also got a whole bunch of different resources. So if I was to, in here we've got things like, interview preparation, behavioural interview questions, what does the STAR method mean? How do you respond to selection criteria? And then this little tab here about the ask a question, this is the best way in order to reach us. So when you click on the ask a question, you can write in there, can you help me with my resume? And you can attach your resume or your selection criteria. It will come up with a bunch of resources under here. So we've got a resume reviewer, which is a new tool, and a resume builder. It's a new tool that we've got so that you can use that if you haven't got a resume at all. And then you can attach your file or of your resume or academic CV, and then ask a question and say, can someone please look at this academic CV? I'm going for a research assistant role. It's due in a week's time. And I say that because please give us some a bit of notice. We aim to respond within 24 hours and during Monday to Friday. Okay, so I think that's the main tips, Hugh, that I wanted to share. I'm happy to take any questions, of course.
Fantastic. Are there any questions for Tonya?
Okay. All right. So, yeah, please feel free to reach out to us. Just drop in Monday to Friday at the Callaghan, all our hours there. And whether you reach out to us via Ask a Question or through the web or face-to-face, we look forward to helping you. Thanks very much. Thanks, Hugh.
No worries. Thank you so much, Tony. Rightio, I will then hand over to Meg Smith from the Office of Student Advocacy to talk to you about what her team does.
Okay, so hi, my name is Meg. I'm a student advocate. I work in the Office of Student Advocacy. We are a team of 4, and we work with students right across their the spectrum, from enabling, undergraduate, postgraduate coursework, and of course PhD and master's research students. So our role is to help students navigate policy, process and procedure within the university. So we provide advice, information and support if you encounter any problems or difficulties with university processes. So some of the things that we can advise on are things like extensions to candidature, leave options, so annual leave, sick leave or leaves of absence, maternity leave, things like that. One of the other things that our service does is help you with difficult conversations that you may need to have with people in power, I guess. So your supervisors, graduate research staff, decision-making staff within the university, conversations where you may feel like you need someone on your side, a support person, or just someone to give you the advice and answer the questions that you might have. Basically, if you're stuck or you're encountering some difficulties with processes within the university and you just don't know who to talk to about that, come and talk to us. If we're not the right person, we can steer you towards who is. So basically, I'm hoping that you never have to talk to me. If you don't ever have to talk to me, it means things are running really smoothly in your candidature. But I guess the best advice that I can give is that if things are starting to feel not right for you, or there's a problem that you're having, come and talk to us early. Things are easier to solve early, and we can get better outcomes than if you just put them off and go, oh, that's all right, it's not a big problem, I can deal with it, I can roll with it. Then they become bigger problems and they become harder to solve. But again, I really don't want to scare you off. Most of you will never ever need to talk to me, and that's fantastic. But if you do need to talk to me, we're based on Callaghan campus in Student Central building, but we're happy to meet via Zoom. We're happy to have a phone conversation. I can come out to meet you at New Space or Arimba campuses. Sydney and further afield is a bit harder to get to, but you know, if we need to, we can make it happen. So that's us. I don't want to talk too much more because I don't want to scare anyone off. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask.
Awesome. Are there any questions for Meg?
No. If anything ever comes up, send us an email, pop in to see me. We're always happy to talk.
Fantastic. OSSA is an amazing service. We work with them quite a lot as well, and yes, cannot speak more highly of them. So absolutely reach out if you need.
Thank you, Hugh. Okay. All right. Okay.
Thanks, Meg.
I'll leave you there.
In that case, I'll hand over to Christy Brooks from UON Graduate Research to speak to you. And I have got your slides here, Christy. I think I did remember those ones. There we go. Are you there, Christy? Remember, it's just the buttons down the bottom in the center. to activate webcam and mic.
Hello.
Hello,
Can
yes.
you see me now? Yes, right. I know, I just found the buttons. I had to make it big. Sorry.
No worries at all.
All right. Just to keep ours brief, so I'm Christy, I'm from Graduate Research. You would have already met some of our team. We look after your enrolment right through to the award of your degree and your thesis submission. Some of the things that we might contact you about, just go to the next slide, yep, is the confirmation process. Also progress reports. We usually do those 1 to 2 times a year. We'll let you know of any new opportunities or any legislative changes that might happen throughout the year and affect your candidature. We will manage any changes. So if you're going to change from part-time to full-time or vice versa, any supervision changes, changes to your scholarship funding, we look after that as well. Like I said, we manage your thesis submission and examination process. We also run workshops and seminars. We usually advertise those on our research training calendar as well as our HDR matters. So we send out a newsletter regularly, normally around every 6 weeks. On that, it will have a lot of things that are happening around the university, any notices from our office, any upcoming workshops, seminars, 3-minute thesis, any big events that we're holding. And as well as that, we have individual appointments that you can make with us. So if you wanted to come and have a chat to any of our team, you're welcome to do that. We do need an appointment, or you can send us an email. Our appointments are available online, or if you're wanting to come into the office, then you're welcome to do so too. We've got a frequently asked questions. That's on our webpage. You'll probably be familiar with our webpage. I'm just going to show you our email address is Graduate Just Research. All of these things you've probably already contacted us about if you're enrolled, and you might have even gone to one of our meet and greet sessions. I did notice there was a question earlier about laptops, where our office are responsible for handing those out to you if you're getting a university laptop. And I've been told they're coming in about May. We're getting a large shipment of March. March, we're getting a large shipment. I think we're getting the second one in May as well. So if you are desperate for your laptop and are looking for individual updates on when yours is coming, please feel free to email our office, and we'll get back to you about that and let you know when they're coming. Does anyone have any questions for me? Nope. All good. Back to you here.
Beautiful. Thank you. I think, and look, for those of you who are in the room still, thank you so much. I know you've been absorbing a lot of information very quickly. This is always a bit of an info dump. But I think there is just one more team to talk about, and that is mine. So I'm going to quickly just share our website. Our new website. Beautiful. So as I said at the beginning, I'm Hugh Milligan. I work for UNSA, the University of Newcastle Students Association. We are a new student association. So for those of you who started your postgrad degree last year or earlier, you will probably remember NUPSA, the Postgraduate Students Association. Thanks to a very long and detailed restructure, NUPSA, NUSA and URIMBA, the 3 student associations at the time, all sort of dissolved and got reworked into one giant Uber association, which is UNSA. But the first thing I will say is, in terms of the services we provide, there is still very much supports and events and workshops and activities and so on for postgrad specifically, this event being one example of that. So rest assured that the DNA of NUPSA is still very much part of UNSA, that we still have a whole arm that focuses on supporting your distinct needs as postgrad students. As you know, your needs are very different to a lot of undergrads. So those are certainly built into the services we provide. Like NUPSA and the other associations before us, we are a SAF-funded student organisation. So we are funded by your SAF money. We are led by a very big sort of complex board and series of committees that are all elected students like yourself. There is a postgrad senate within that. So in fact, you may have seen an email from me in the last week or so about that. As I said, a lot of the decisions we make, the advocacy we engage in, that's led by your student voice. And that's one of our big jobs, essentially, is to represent your needs on campus, also at a state and federal level as well. If you have any issues you face as postgrad students, anything that comes out of whether it's legislation or university decisions or changes, you should have a seat at that table. You should have a voice in that conversation, and we act as your mouthpiece. We act as your representatives. So that's the first big thing we do. On a far more personal level, if you ever have questions, concerns, you're at a bit of a loose end and you're not sure where to go, hopefully you've seen a whole series of great teams you can contact here this morning. But if you ever had a question and weren't sure who to take it to, you can absolutely reach out to us. We have some support we can provide in-house, but we also act as a signpost. So we are connected to all of these support teams, and we can help refer you, we can help introduce you to the people that are best positioned to help you. So whether it's, a major issue you're having with your candidature, or just, trouble setting up your email, whatever it might be, and you're not sure, you can certainly reach out and we will either connect you or we can help you ourselves depending on what the issue is. On a far more fun note, we run a ton of workshops and social events throughout the year. As I said, you'll have seen these in our emails and in our calendar and so on. Again, these are all sort of led by your interests and your suggestions. So within my role, I organise a lot of the postgrad specific and online activities and events. So if you have any suggestions, any requests, any feedback on that, I'm always happy to hear that. I want to make sure that everything we run is informed by you. And the other thing we provide, which I'll show you in just a second, is support for student clubs and societies. So obviously COVID made clubs a little bit difficult last year, but there is certainly a really thriving student club and society scene that's re-emerging now. Student clubs and societies are one of the best ways to build social networks, learn new skills, make friends with common interests, and just enrich your university experience. So as an association, UNSA also provides funding for clubs. We provide logistical support if you need help booking rooms, setting up activities, redesigning all your branding. We have resources to help with that as well. So as I said, we're here basically as a support network for you. You've paid for us through your SAF fees, So absolutely, use as many of our services as are useful to you. Get your money's worth and just get good support while you're here. I do want to very quickly show you this website. This is a new website that went live last Friday. We're very excited. This is just the first stage of it. So without going into great detail on that, we have more features on the way. We just wanted to get some of the critical stuff out to you before O Week. So stuff like the events calendar, the clubs directory, and so on. But over time, in this site, I'm going to have things like an online archive. So sessions like this one this morning, that are being recorded, we'll very shortly have a page where you can go back and access those recordings anytime you like. We'll have media galleries with photos from all of our events. We'll have online support guides and student resources, and we'll also have all of the official stuff like meeting minutes, constitution, all of those other documents, which some of you may find very interesting to read. But for the moment, you simply go to unsa.org.au. We have a calendar here. This slider shows you a handful of the nearest events, but if you go down, you can actually filter by your campus. And it is our plan to add to this calendar not only all of UNSA's own events, but also events being run by all of the other teams on campus. And some of those you saw this morning. So for example, if the library is running workshops on particular things like EndNote or accessing databases, things like that, careers workshops, counselling workshops that Kat mentioned, we're going to mirror those into this calendar here, and there'll be links that will sort of send you directly to those pages and those calendars. So the idea is this will become a bit of a one-stop shop, where if you just want to see what interesting things are happening on campus or online, you'll be able to come in here, and as I said, it will sort of direct you to where you can register for those different events. The other thing you'll notice here is that clubs that are affiliated with us, when they create their own club events, those events also appear in this calendar. So you'll see, for example, the Riders Club, you'll see the Poker Club down here. So as I said, if you're interested in getting more involved in certain clubs, and you even just want to see more about specific things they're running before you sort of commit to joining, you're welcome to actually register for their events here and come along. So absolutely check this page regularly if you can. Stuff is going to go in here all the time. It's going to become enormous to the point where you'll be able to search using this bar at the top. So that's the calendar. I'll also just mention, as I said, the clubs and societies. So starting a club is very, very easy. You really just need 10 students who have a common interest in something, and obviously a niche where a club doesn't exist already. We can actually help you find other interested students. We can help you put a call out through social media, through the website, through our mailing list. And once a club is created, it can affiliate with us and it will appear here. Now this directory is brand new, and I have been feverishly training all of our club leaders to fill out their pages. So apologies if some of these pages still are a bit incomplete, but over the next few weeks you'll see all of these flesh out with details. But basically, if I find Technotia, for example, you can click on a page, see a description of its activities, see its events. There's also a news feed. Some clubs will also have an e-store here, so they might sell ticketed events, they might sell merchandise, things like that. But if a club interests you, you really just click that blue button and you can join it. And from there, their conveners can communicate with you, invite you to events, get you involved, basically. So as I said, whether you're interested in just joining a few clubs and broadening your interests, or in starting one, you can use this website, or you can reach out to us if you have any questions. Clubs are going to be a huge thing on campus this year and online, post-COVID hopefully. We really want to encourage students to get back into this space as they're allowed to do so, and to start to rebuild a lot of connections and get good support. Further down, I should also mention we also have Opus hosted here. Opus Magazine is something that was part of NUSA previously, now it's part of UNSA. It's a student-run publication that has been around for more than 70 years. It's incredible, it's evolved so much in that time. You can find online articles and back issues here. You can also contact us if you're interested in contributing. So if you want to submit an article, it's a great way to share your voice with other students, get some exposure for something that you might want to talk about. And that goes out to thousands and thousands of students. So you're welcome to, as I said, have a read of it, or to send in something you'd like to have included. And finally, we have news updates here. The one thing I forgot to mention is UNSA, unlike NUPSA, is an opt-in student association. So if you haven't done so already, and this step is entirely free, there's a button in the top right corner, Join Us. And I would absolutely encourage you to click on that and just put in a few details. That will register you with UNSA and with the site, which means that you can then join clubs, sign up for events. There's other services we can provide for you down the track, but essentially to support our students, we do just need to know who's a member, who you are. So yeah, so sign up there, just links you in and make sure we can give you good support. There are more features, as I said, on the way. But in the meantime, between this website and our social media, so you'll see at the top here we have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all that jazz. So definitely sign up there too. You should be able to hear from us pretty regularly, and we should be able to offer you support wherever you need. Again, that was a lot of info. Do you have any questions about any of that? Fantastic. I will quickly say we will be around as well during O Week next week, so come and see us at our stalls. I'm trying to remember the days. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at Callaghan. I believe Monday is Arimba and Friday is New Space. I believe that's correct. We'll be over at Oval 4. We'll also be running free barbecues, which you can currently see plastered across the screen. So come and grab some free food, grab some free merch, say hi, and let us know if there's anything you need. Beyond that, I think that brings us to the end of this session, and right on time, remarkably. So again, thank you for attending. Hopefully you've managed to capture some details there for the teams and services that interest you. But again, I will share this recording as soon as it's ready. I'll send it out to you so you can watch this back anytime you like. And thank you again to the presenters who are still with us at the moment. Thank you for making some time this morning. I really appreciate it. And as I said, we'll hopefully run these more regularly in future. Fantastic. Have a great day, have a great weekend, and we'll hopefully see you at our events in the future.